everyone, my name is Kira B. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my journey to YouTube story. If you'd like to hear my story, please stick around. So we're just gonna jump right into it. When I first heard of YouTube, YouTube was just like something where people would watch music videos on, or there would be like this viral silliness, just kind of like gimmicky silliness viral video. And if anything, having a YouTube channel wasn't seen as anything that would promote or enhance your life for any way. You might be able to like provide a couple laughs for people, but that was it. It was just something fun to do, like a side hobby. So funny because one of those gimmicky videos I am referring to is the sitting on the toilet video, and I saw that the woman who actually filmed that video, YouTube included her. I don't know if it was their official rewind or if it was YouTube just reflecting on like the year that had just passed, but she was there and she was just like, yo, I got my toilet paper, which I thought was so funny and so cute, and I'm glad they put that in there. I don't know if she has a channel or anything. I really don't know anything about that woman, but I definitely remember her sitting on the toilet video. It definitely provided a lot of laughs for me and my friends back in the day when she was, out. I'm sure people who filmed videos then never thought that they would blow up as big as they were. They just had like it was just something to show like your small community online, and that was that. Okay, so then fast forward to when I'm in college. I remember that asking all them questions video came out with Emmanuel, I don't know his last name, and his brother, and that was just so funny. It went viral. Everyone was talking about it, and from there, that was the first time that I started to see someone from YouTube to be transitioned into like mainstream media. I remember starting to see him on TV shows and like red carpets at award shows and things like that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the guy from YouTube. Like, it was just weird to see someone from YouTube to be now taken seriously. Like, people are taking he's being taken seriously now, and it's like good for him, but it wasn't a norm thing. And be mindful, and I'll probably get into this later on to the video, like I really didn't know like the Michelle Pfons and those people of the world back when they were like, honestly, I only know of some of those people just because of how big they've gotten, not because I've ever actually like seen any of their content or like even know people who are fans of them, I finally got Instagram. That's the first time I got Instagram. I am always late on social medias. Like, I'm always like the last person to get it. I don't know, when things are hyped up, I don't really like run to them. If anything, they kind of like make me want to steer clear of the forums where you have to like put yourself out there. It's just like, I don't know, I'm kind of a private person, and I've really enjoyed my privacy, and I really enjoy my privacy these last 2 years as I've taken my social media break. And yeah, I just am never in a rush to like just put myself out there. So that's just what it was. But I finally got Instagram. Everyone had Instagram, so I was like, okay, finally let me go ahead and get Instagram my first semester in college and during winter break. Just because friends from home who had Instagram, and I was out in another state, and it was just a way for us all to stay connected, even though I had everyone on Facebook. But then, like, you know how it is, people were just transitioning into Instagram, and Instagram was more pictures, and I actually prefer that now. Instagram is probably my most used social media account, and it has been for years. I've never had Twitter. I've never been interested in Twitter, but I did just get a TikTok, so follow me on TikTok. While we're talking about it, it's kirabisme, and Instagram as well is kirabisme. So yeah, go ahead and follow me, and all of my socials is linked below in the description box, as well as if you go to the banner, you can click on my socials as well. Yeah, so just to finish that up, even like back then when YouTube was like what I did know of YouTube, the first person I started to follow on YouTube was actually like the sketch comedian guy, and I don't know what his name is. He was the one person who I would like search his content to go back to see if he posted anything, just because he was so funny. And that's before like I didn't know like what subscribing was to channels and stuff. Like, I didn't really see people as like having YouTube channel. It's like, this is just what he did. I mean, now like in hindsight, like having a YouTube channel wasn't something like conceptually like was a thing that I really understood, like if you like somebody, you just go back and feel and see their content, and back then it was before like the algorithm was what it was now, so you always had to go back and like look him up just because he was funny. And then I would also show other people his videos, so I would watch his videos over and over again. It was just a funny thing to watch, you know? And then it would be things like news stories that went viral, and people started to auto-tune and things like that. Like that, for the most part, was what YouTube was from when it came out until like when it came out. And the first time I knew that it came out was probably around 2006. From like 2006 to 2013-ish, or 2013-ish, 2012-ish, I guess. That's what I saw YouTube as. Then comes in the year 2013, and I started to transition my hair. If you're a Black woman, or if you are natural, you've transitioned, you are a former creamy crack addict, you already know. So around 2013 for me, that's when I started to transition my natural hair. Well, actually, so I transitioned my hair back in like 2010, and I just did not know what I was doing. I didn't even know that like YouTube was a resource for me. I just tried to do what I could, and if anything, I probably used Google more than YouTube, just because I didn't really see YouTube as the search engine that it is. I ended up feeling defeated because I just didn't know what I was doing, and I ended up having to cut my hair just because I felt like I had so much breakage. But then I ended up relaxing it and cutting it, which I should have just cut it and just kept it unrelaxed. But obviously I know now, and also I don't know if I really had the confidence back then to like rock a TWA. Sorry if I keep looking down, I have notes just because I want to like get through this story, and hopefully you like it. Hopefully it's inspirational for you. Back in January 2013, I got my last relaxer before I went back to school, and I saw more real life examples of people transitioning and going natural and things like that. So now I was like, oh, I definitely want to do it. I definitely feel like I have resources, and I overall just thought it would be better for me and my hair. Women, and I would go on YouTube and watch videos of women on how they transition, how they help grow their hair faster so that they can cut off their relaxed ends. Because if you know, there was a time where probably most of us would like, we wanted to transition but not cut our hair at the same time. When I did eventually cut my hair, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. And I actually just recently cut my hair this past summer, and that was the first time I cut my hair since I did my big chop. And it was such a great decision that, like, I don't know what I was holding on to, but that's a story for another day. If you want to hear that story, I'm sure it'll come up at some point on my channel, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell if you want to hear it. Okay, once I was transitioning, instead of getting frustrated like I did last time and cut off my hair, I actually decided to get my first weave, which was a sew-in. And at that point I needed guidance because I never really grew up wearing weaves and wigs and things like that. Now, of course, you'll see them throughout my channel, but that was my first one. I think I actually did have like a ponytail once for like a performance when I was like back in middle school, just like a wrap ponytail, but that was all I ever had, and I literally had that for like 3 days just because it was for the performance. So so it wasn't something that it wasn't something normal for me to wear. So yeah, so when I decided to get a sew-in for my transitioning hair, I went to YouTube because I needed resources, because I just didn't know where else to go, because like I said, I never had that growing up, so I never really knew like what to look for, what to buy, like what to do, anything like that. So as I said, I went to YouTube, and then that's when I really saw that people had channels when I was on my like weave education journey. And I remember there were a couple of girls who I did follow. This is like just going back to their channels, and then from there, that's where I saw where people really have followings on their channel, and like people would ask them questions, and it was like an educational platform, but entertainment. People were interested in their lives and just like going what they did every day, and it was really like an interactive community of like people's lives. And when I did that, I also got into makeup as well. So I would really say hair and makeup has really retained me on YouTube, me personally. And I know there's plenty of YouTubers who started their channels as makeup channels that I follow, and they do makeup on their channel because women put on makeup, but their channels are no longer about makeup. One of the YouTubers who I really like is Isabel Palacios, and she was just always doing makeup. And then one time she made a video about inner beauty, and that video took off, and that really resonated with the people who were watching her videos and subscribing to her. And so she continued to do that, and now her channel is what it is, and it's no longer about makeup, or primarily about makeup. That was before people really knew that you could get paid for YouTube. I don't know. I think those girls were getting paid, or you could get paid. No, there weren't any monetization thresholds back then, but you could get but I think it was before people really knew that they could get paid for YouTube. But I do know that a lot of companies, at least in like the black hair community, like a lot of those girls were getting sent free hair. And so I know a lot of YouTubers, or a lot of black women YouTubers were starting their channels because they could get free hair for those channels. And I hear even now, like if you start a channel as a black woman, like the hair companies will be coming out of the woodwork for you. There's one of the creators who I started to love and follow, and they were probably the first channel I actually subscribed to, and I watched them for the longest time before I actually subscribed to them. And those are the Glam Twins. If you guys know, they're like the OG naturalistas, hair, makeup, fashion. They did it all, and they still do. I don't know why I said did. They still do. And I remember one time watching their videos, and they said that they do YouTube full time, and I was just like, really? The time I really understood that people could really make a living off of YouTube. And even then, I don't think I really got it, just because I know that they did hair, like they're licensed cosmetologists, and they did hair and did like private appointments, but they mostly just did YouTube for their job. I was like, but I really didn't know the numbers, because I mean, at that time, who's to say that like their job or YouTuber's job really is more beneficial than getting a regular 9-to-5 job. Now we're getting into the part where the first time I like thought about maybe I should do YouTube, or the first time I really allowed someone else's opinions or someone else discourage me. I remember I was speaking to someone, and we were probably just talking about natural hair. I don't really know what the conversation was about initially, but I remember mentioning to that person, like, did you know people got paid for YouTube? Like, they make livings off of YouTube. I remember that person saying to me, like, in this really judgmental tone, with this judgmental expression on their face, like, yeah, but that's like not a real job. And at the time, I never really thought of doing it like as my real job. I thought it would just be something fun, but like, just like that like that whole like judgmental tone and face, I was just like, wow, like if I did YouTube. And at the time I never even really thought about it seriously, but I thought maybe it'd be something I'd like to do. But I thought, oh my goodness, like if I do this, people are gonna judge me like that I don't have a real job. And like I said, I was in school at the time, so it's just like, you're doing YouTube when you should be in school or like pursuing like a professional career. Really didn't know that. I was still learning about like my hair. I really didn't know how to do makeup that well. I really didn't know how to do, I was still learning about hair and makeup, weaves and wigs and all of that. That would have started my YouTube channel about back then, just because like, I don't know what else I would have done. That's what I was into, and that's what I saw, so that's what I would have started my channel about. And so I wasn't really that great at it, and like the girls who I did watch, a lot of them were in school, but they were at least good at it. And so to do it and not be good at it is just, why would you even do that? And then also I was into low manipulation, which I still am about my hair. Like, I didn't want to be like doing all of these hairstyles and heat and all of this color whatever on my hair, because I'm just into low manipulation. I'm not really that person to do all of these like experimental things, even though I do have some ideas for my channel. But it's things within my comfort zone. I'm not gonna go too crazy. But it's probably for the most part things that I was thinking about doing anyways. I'm experimental enough, but yeah, and I know back then there were a lot of women who were like, they can't keep manipulating their hair or spending all this money on like makeup and hair products for a YouTube channel, because like, what do they really get back from it? Like, it's fun and all, but how does it serve them, you know? If you already didn't like do the journey where you cut it and had long hair, I felt like no one was really watching you. At least that was the thing. So I knew I wasn't gonna like grow 10 inches of hair overnight. So because of that conversation that I had with that person, I was just like, oh my god, so if I do this, people are gonna judge me. So then I was like, oh, I definitely am not, like, I'm definitely not even gonna entertain that thought, because clearly people are gonna judge me for being on YouTube, because I should be pursuing a real job and not like some internet fantasy or internet hobby. That like, I don't think that person was trying to like discourage me or anything, because like I said, I never even like made the decision or even said that I was gonna do it. But I think that like at that time, and even now, like YouTube wasn't a job. Like, people didn't do it. Like, it's still so new, so I think they were just trying to speak frankly, like it isn't a real job. So like I said, at least for the glam twins, they still did private like parties or like private appointments. So who's to say that they really make money off of these videos? People are now more open about making money off of YouTube and how to like do affiliate marketing and AdSense and you know, selling your own products, building your own brand. But back then it wasn't like that. You know, people, maybe they would say it, but no one said like, oh, how much you can make, what's the scalability in this field. Instagram wasn't monetized at this point. I don't even think it was bought out by Facebook at this point. That's when people really would like make fun of the influencer lifestyle, and I think they still do now, but I think people will understand it more now. But before, especially as a woman, you know, like people would say things like not really knowing like the scalability or what the potential was. And you know, and even then, like, of course I would try to market myself as looking beautiful and sexually appealing because I'm a human person, but not saying that I would be on the internet in my underwear, basically shaming women for, you know, having a presence online, being who they are online. Of course, this is still the time where commercial branding was still mostly reserved for celebrities, things like that. So if other people could market women, that was fine, but for you to market yourself, that's a no. I mean, I mean, what else is new? You're not new here. This is a recycled concept, of course. Well, you might be new here, and if you're new here, subscribe and turn on your notification bells. And obviously, that was not the only content on the rise. But for me, that's what I was seeing. And then also, you know how it is. Of course, that's what people are going to talk about, women doing frivolously girly things and talking about them for being like influencers and Instagram hoes and this, that, and the other. But like, I was probably just a teenager a couple months ago. So I was just not at the point in my life where I could really like battle those demons, those insecurities, and those naysayers. I was just like, well, if that's what people are going to say about me, I'm just not going to do it. Really never pursued it. But knowing what I know now about like financial literacy and multiple streams of income, like at the time, of course, I thought, well, job security, and you can hear that even as I told that story, like obviously, well, I just need to focus on job security, and that's ultimately what I should be doing, and not worrying about like YouTube hobbies. Even in that time, like I was a broke college student, hobby, I could have definitely leveraged a hobby and things that I was into. You know, I've learned so much throughout the years on YouTube, and just to even like show that journeys, I'm sure I would have been able to secure more opportunities if I would have just started back then. I just didn't know. I was too scared, and I was just too worried about other people and what other people were going to say, and just not really focused on like what made me happy, what was fun for me. That has to do a lot with my younger self anyway, and that's outside of YouTube. Okay, so fast forward to like summer 2018, I actually announced on my Instagram that I was starting a YouTube channel, and my whole idea was I'm going to start this YouTube channel about intentional living. And because I was in dissertation semester, I felt like it would keep me on track to like stay focused on what I was doing, and I thought it would hold me accountable. And so my whole idea was is that I would film myself every day for 1 year, and then after that year was up, I would post it consistently every day for 1 year, and then I would just blow up on YouTube. And how I got this idea is at the time I was into this daily vlogger called Mo Vlogs. Yeah, comment below if you know any of the YouTubers I'm referring to. He did daily videos for years. I don't even know how many years, but it was insane. Even now thinking about this, because at this point I think I have like 10 or 11 videos on my channel, like that's insane. And I was struggling through Vlogmas, so that was insane. But yeah, so my whole idea was it'll keep me accountable, and then once I'm done with it, I would just blow up on YouTube. And so like 2 birds in 1 stone. I don't know. Don't even ask me about that. Never happened. It didn't work. But I would say in that time, that's when I really started learning about YouTube and started taking it seriously. Started learning about the consistency, AdSense, affiliate marketing, small brands, like just everything. And just learning from other YouTubers, things they go through, women of color, things they go through when it comes to like sponsorship and brand deals and trips, and you know, just all these things I just started learning. So I would say that really started my YouTube education seriously, and hopefully it shows throughout my channel when it comes to I actually got this ring light that's on the side of me at that time as well, and I did film a couple videos. I think I'm gonna react to the videos I filmed when I thought I was starting a YouTube channel, because they probably are so bad anyway. Not to say that my videos are that great now, but Yeah, January 2019, this is when I took a break from social media. I essentially didn't on social media for 2 years, and yeah, I was on social media. I'm sure if you all know me and you're watching this, I would like videos, like people's pictures and things, but I didn't post for the most part. I posted about 2 or 3 things just because I wanted to be part of like social movements in that time, but I really didn't post anything on social media, and honestly, for 2 years. So I essentially did a fast, which I honestly really enjoyed that time. I think it was definitely necessary, especially with me starting this journey now. Like, I love that I just had that time to just like know in the meantime that I am going to be starting this journey. So enjoy what you have now, just being anonymous, to say the least. And at this point, I have traveled the world. I even lived abroad in other countries. So like, there was tons of content that I could have had for my YouTube channel that I didn't. But like I said, I'm glad that I didn't, because I felt now that I really understand what type of content I want to put out, and not only what type of content that I want to put out, but also what I'm willing to share and what I'm not willing to share on the internet. And I think a lot of YouTubers or creators that I've seen throughout the years have definitely, you can see when they struggle with that, or when they've made mistakes or poor decisions about what to share and what not to share on the internet for everyone to criticize. I've traveled abroad, I went vegan, I've grew my hair to waist length. Like, I've done so much that was YouTube content. I could have filmed all of that and had all of that on YouTube throughout the years from when I started this, but I didn't. But in a way, like, really was a time for me to go within myself. So to go within myself, to know what I'm comfortable with, what I'm not comfortable with, in terms of sharing on social media, and just what I'm comfortable and not comfortable with in myself. Because if you're gonna present yourself on the internet, you have to know yourself, know thyself, and like not give so much energy to naysayers and negative comments. Not that I would never, just because I am human. But in that time, like I said, I had traveled the world, I lived abroad, and then like I felt like I was showing so much on social media, and I didn't have a big following or anything. I'm just saying, like, to my friends and family and the people who I've met along the way. Being honest, I don't think I was in a place to publicly showcase my life, just because I had so much learning and unlearning to do when it came to just me and who I am as a person, and it was me and the person I was programmed to be. Then I felt like my social media, like, once I was posting about, me living abroad, traveling the world, it just seemed like once I stopped, like, stagnation was failure. Like, how are you traveling to Paris, working on degrees 1 year, next year you're back home? Especially when you grow up where you're like, oh, you have good grades, won championship, you're the first in your family to accomplish educational goals. Like I said, stagnation, it seems like a failure, but it's also shattering to your identity as a person in your personal life, let alone on social media. Even before my social media fast, I can definitely say I'm definitely in a space now where, like, I really don't care about naysayers or like negative comments what people say. Of course, like I said, I'm human. I'm not saying like nothing ever gets to me, but yeah, I'm definitely in a more comfortable space about like who I am as a person and what I stand for, what I'm willing to show to people or what I'm willing not to show to people. Yeah, so now I'm finally in a space where I'm ready to, start my YouTube journey, and I'm really so excited. I've really been having so much fun during Vlogmas. It's been frustrating to say the least, but it's been fun. If you guys are ready to share this journey with me, and like I said, subscribe and share the video. Make sure you follow me on all my socials as well. But just to let you know, with Vlogmas, it was a certain point where I was just like, I would rather focus on my actual content than my Vlogmas content, because the Vlogmas content was kind of gimmicky, which was fun, but I just figured let's not stress about that and put the energy towards, my actual channel, my actual followers, my actual subscribers, the tribe that I'm really trying to cultivate here on this platform. That's basically my journey to YouTube. So I hope you're along for the journey with me. And like I said, follow me everywhere. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.